to start the second session formally. PGRs from or focusing on the Global South challenges and solutions. Let's go to Yusuf.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation and the opportunity to be a part of this great event. So my name is Yusuf Sulayman, as earlier mentioned, and I'm just going to share some of my experiences in terms of challenges and opportunities. Many presenters have said so many things that are incorporated in what I would have said, so I'm just going to make it brief. I think one of my big experience was, coming from another country to the UK, is the new environment. So unlike many other persons have mentioned, language, culture, and stuff for new people in the UK. So, but how do I think this can be taken care of is by attending events, close and diverse events, where you meet like minds, people of like culture, language, and stuff, and also diverse events where you meet new people, because you don't want to, or let me say, I wouldn't want to come all the way to the UK and then just meet people from my country anyway. So I would want, as much as I want to meet people from my country or from my continent, I also want to interact with new people so that I can learn even more. So what I would advise is that we need to mix up as much as we need to stand out during our PhD program. Another thing is this imposter syndrome. Many of us have it. Sometimes we have this big idea and we are no longer sure we can, in fact, we are the best person to even push through that idea. We get lost and we feel we probably cannot do what we set out to do because we are not capable enough. How have I navigated this is I looked at it as if I'm just being ahead of my time in terms of the kind of research I decided to go into. So sometimes it's like that for many of us. We're just kind of ahead of our time, and it's very important for PhD researchers to actually be ahead of our time. We lean on the shoulders of scholars, but we need to think ahead. Researching requires looking at what other people have seen, but seeing it differently. So what have I done how have I been able to navigate through this is by presenting my ideas, disseminating them, and then trying to get validation. Sometimes these things look like not good enough and stuff like that until you hear from people and then they tell you how nice your ideas are. And I want to appreciate the Global South Network where, at some point, I think in my first year, I'm now in my third year rounding up, but in my first year, I think, or early in my second year, I came here and then I met someone who will eventually become my external examiner. And, what happened was there was a presentation on judicial independence, and then the presenter said, there was a question, and it was like, the next thing is people should start going empirical in checking judicial independence. And that was exactly what I was doing, using quantitative data to prove judicial independence. So it kind of validated my research, and because I have pushed this out into A-class, A-rated journals, and it's been accepted, this kind of give me the kind of validation that I want, and it helps to navigate through imposter syndrome. And then there is this thing of making a choice between the hard and the easy way when during the course of a PhD research. It's hard to kind of make an impact. It's easy to just do what people have done before and then just bag your PhD. But I think the whole essence of going through a PhD research is to create a new path. It's always hard. So it's okay if we are just going to scratch the surface and then open up a vista of opportunity for discussion, for later discussion. But it's always interesting to go through the hard parts where you actually eventually would be able to make good contribution to knowledge and to scholarship. So for posterity's sake, I say, do it the hard way, but we need to seek help when we actually need it. So we do this with a lot of help. And then finally, sometimes we want to do a lot of things and we don't have enough skills. Like someone mentioned, we are coming from a law background, and then you want to do quantitative or qualitative data research. You need in vivo training, you need training on SPSS data and all of these things. I mean, these are skills that we don't have at the moment, but it's not, I mean, it's not a big fault. We just need to reach out. There are massive resources out there. There's the UK, like I wanted to mention, the UK, the British Library, the Center for Research Methods. There are so many of these. So maybe sometimes we reach out to people who have already gone through this, and then they can point us to the direction. And sometimes it's funding that we need. There are lots of funding opportunities to go through training, even that are not sponsored by your host university, and then you still be supported to go through a lot of trainings. Like I've enjoyed fundings like the Turing grants and a lot of other funding opportunities to help you go through your research um, in an easier way. So we need to tap into all of these resources, and then again, we need to ask for help when we truly actually need them. And then finally, research ownership. So we have this relationship with our supervisors, and then I just wanted to say, like someone mentioned as well, that they had to change supervisors like 3 times. I also did change, or maybe 2 times. So I actually changed my supervisor as well. And I mean, we shouldn't feel bad having to go through this. It's not because we are not good enough, or we are too good, or the supervisors are not too good are not good enough. But supervisors' role must be clear. Supervisors are meant to guide and mentor us. I mean, they don't own the research. So if we need to move to another supervisor to be able to own our research, then so be it. I think it's okay, and we shouldn't feel bad about that. So eventually, it must. I mean, the supervisor should just guide us to reach a research that is truly ours. So on these notes, thank you. I want to thank you all for listening and for this great opportunity of presenting. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, Yusuf.